all she kept telling herself is, I need to keep going. And every time she went through something horrific in her life, she just told herself, I need to keep going. And her message is to keep going. And at the end, she just didn't survive.
Hey folks, I just want to say thank you very much for always coming here and supporting this channel. It really means a lot to me to be able to grow this. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and let everybody know about this podcast channel. All right, so today's conversation is with Christine Schaefer. We're going to talk about embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. We're also going to talk a little bit about her book, Crown Betrayal. You can always find Christine at christineschaefer.com. So let's get right into the show.
Welcome to Amazing People, Amazing Things with your host, Chuck.
A lot of us do go through challenges and we don't know how to open those doors for those opportunities that are there. So, and I think that's really important right now.
You know, it is very important. In fact, what's really interesting is what I'm going to talk about, how to get through it. People think, gosh, I don't want to go that route, but actually that's the fastest route, best way to get motivated, best way to never get there again. You know, when we face our challenges, then we become so motivated not to get back there. And we say, that's never going to happen again. I'm going to put in steps. And we just, each step is a stepping stone to greater things. And so it's a positive. How many people are going to tell you that your adversity and your challenges are positive? But they actually are. And if everything is good, we would never rise to the place or the time to elevate ourselves to be better, because there wouldn't be a need.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah. So it's almost like we do need these challenges to make us push and rise above, right?
Absolutely. And it's a great message because it's so easy to get pushed down when the bottom falls out. You think this is it, and you want to let go of your hopes and dreams. And I always say, when you get challenges, that means you are on the right track.
I love it. And there's that four-letter word, hope. So what does hope really mean?
You know, I love that, because when I take apart hope and I use each letter, I say it brings you help in an optimistic viewpoint and gives you power and persistence in an environment that elevates you to excellence.
I love it.
Yeah, and you know, it's a universal word. It's a word that we all hold on to. And that's what's so powerful about it. And I never want anybody to give up their dreams that they've had, because I truly believe that the dreams that we have are God-given, so they're really deep, right? Mm-hmm. And when they're that deep and we feel we have too much stress or we can't make it, or people start to talk you down, they're trying to dismantle your hope. And what that does is it kind of breaks you apart a little bit, because anything that is deep-rooted, I believe that that's from God, and God is directing you, and everyone has a great destiny, right? Everybody has something wonderful to give to people and to help people. That's why I always feel it's so important to let people know that the adversities that you have are one of the best things that you can, because it's going to shoot you to excellence. And if you hold on to that hope, you're going to put yourself in your own environment, not an environment of outside people that can dismantle your anchor. But it's your environment. Listen to you, not the outside.
Do you have like the 3 steps or anything like that to how to help yourself stop others dismantle your hopes?
Yes. And in fact, first thing is to recognize that you have
Okay.
hope inside and that you have hope as an anchor. That is one of the first things. And the next thing I like to say is being able to examine your challenges. You know, it's very hard. I'm telling people it's hard, but once you do it, it gets a little easier, is to look at the negative that is happening in your life, to embrace it and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen. Once you can look at your challenges, now you have the opportunity to turn it around. But if you block it and say, I just don't want to be there, I don't want to go there, then you're not turning it around. How did you get there? And what steps can you take to never get there again? And that's really, really important. And the other thing I say, as you pointed out, is to be your best cheerleader. So how do you become your best cheerleader? One of the most important, I would probably say, rules in being your best cheerleader is the word you. You be your best cheerleader, not anybody outside of you. It's lovely if you have, you know, a team or people that love you and are going to lift you up, but sometimes you stand alone on some things.
Yeah, you do.
And when you stand alone, you have to get in your, I always say, your gut checker, your gut, in knowing that my dream is here for a reason. And I'm going to do something good with it. And I'm not going to listen to outside people so that they can start pulling me apart. That's why I say dismantle your anchor. And so what you do is you tell yourself, this is my dream. God put it in me for a certain reason. I'm going to continue. I am valuable. I have this valuable dream, and I'm going to keep going. And you put yourself in a secure environment by making your perimeter of who you are around and who you're talking to very small. And you keep telling yourself, I'm going to make it. It's one step at a time. There's no such thing as automatic success. That's not true. You know, it's always one step at a time. So,
Yeah.
and that's why they say people at the top, it's lonely at the top, because they had to themselves decide, this is what I want to do. I can't have a lot of people around me that could be naysayers, because sometimes you don't know who the naysayers are. You know, and all of a sudden they come out at that critical moment and rock your boat. We can't allow that to happen. So and sometimes you can't tell everybody what you're doing, because then they have the opportunity, right? So
Right, to rock your boat, right?
Exactly. So it's best for you to be able to just know why you're doing it, why it's so important, and you keep telling yourself that, and then you have to just cheer yourself on. I'm going to do this one step at a time. I will make the finish line. And yeah, go ahead.
Isn't that one of the most difficult things to do, though? Because we ourselves are our own worst critic, and we put ourselves down probably more than anybody else, right?
Well, we don't need help from anybody, that's for sure. Okay?
Yeah.
But there's one thing that I tell people which really helps that. Time is going to go no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So in a year from now, you could be at the same place, or you can give yourself a chance to see if you can get where you're going. I've mentored a lot of people, and for professional schools, I had a residency program in my medical corporation when I had a medical corporation. And these professionals that had, finished their PharmD, and they come in my office and say, you would think that they would be like on top of the world. I'm going to conquer. I did this. And they come in and they're concerned. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going to pass my boards and everything? And you have to back them up, just like us. You have to back up. And you have to say, why are you even thinking that way?
Mm-hmm.
We all have a great destiny to fulfill. We all have the ability to conquer what we want to conquer. I say it's never good enough to survive. I don't even like the word surviving, because who wants to just survive? We want to be a victor, and we want to conquer. I don't care how small or how big our dream is, we're there to conquer and to be a success.
Do you think, though, with the society that is being created, or the society that we're living in now, the folks that have grown up, they have been they accept the good enough. They want, and I'm just being general, that, I look back, going back several years, about everyone is a winner, everybody gets a trophy, and therefore now we don't have to compete because, hey, we all win. I personally think that kind of hurts us as individuals and as a society, because there's no drive to push to be the best, to be better. Again, that's just in general.
Well, that's a good observation. I really feel, though, that when something comes very easy, or you become mundane in your thoughts, another word would be complacent in where you are, and feel like you've made it because it's come easy. No one is happy about that, right? Mm-hmm. They really aren't, because we were created to do great things. We have great value. And so what a lot of society has done is they've masked that by, it's so easy to get this, or it's so easy to get that, but it doesn't fulfill. And I think if you want a fulfilled life, you want to conquer, you want to be a victor in whatever you want to do. Everybody has a dream. If somebody tells me they don't have a dream, I say that's not true. Everybody has a dream. They may not know exactly what it is or to pinpoint it, but if you talk to them long enough, they will be able to point out, well, at one point I thought I could do this. And you say, well, why can't you do this now? And you start to break down those barriers. Because I will tell you, I don't care what age you are, you can conquer, and you can have your dream come true. That is an important message. We have all this AI and everything that's going on now, and you can shortcut writing things, you can shortcut doing advertising and marketing and all kinds of things, homework, but it doesn't give you the creativity that I believe is within you, that you were born with. And when you don't use your creativity, you're not using your freedom. So in a way, it's kind of shutting down your freedom of who you are, because you're not expressing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very important.
Yeah. I like what you really said at the very beginning of this, is that, if you're just living that day-to-day mundane life, you're not fulfilling your life. You're not living a full life. You're alive, but hey, there's more to it. Oh. So go get it.
Absolutely. But they have to know that they can. Right?
Right. Yes.
And so, so many people don't really know that they can, or they're scared to step out of the boat. Yeah. So what I say is, why not? Do it. I would rather see somebody fail 2 or 3 times and put themselves back up, because that's your challenge, and then go back out there. And when they conquer what they want to conquer, what a different person you are when it comes to your strength, when it comes to expressing how important this was, and it puts you on another level to go for your next dream. You're going to even push even harder your next dream. and you're not going to let things stop you.
Yeah. Well, failure is just part of the roadmap to get to success. It's to me, I look at it as, all right, if I'm going to go from point A to point B and it's over there, driving, typically you can't go in a straight line. You got to take turns.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what, if you want to call it failure, you're just taking little turns, but you know where you want to go.
Yeah,
So keep going.
absolutely. And you can't let fear stop you.
Right.
Because fear, there's a great definition. I'm sure other people have heard it, but it's false evidence that appears real. And it's a mental game. And if we learn to value ourselves and that we have something wonderful to give, we won't let fear consume us, because it literally is false evidence. We all have so much to give in this life. And it doesn't matter where we are. I always say, when the bottom falls out, you still have hope. And hope is essential and necessary to your body as food is. You need to connect it to how vital having your dream and working towards your dream as the quality of life you're living. Have you ever heard people having more fun obtaining their dream than when they get there? Because then they say, now what? Because going through that dream is what has given you that excitement, that push, and we're almost there, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to live another day, and we're going to, move on. And so everybody needs to have a dream, and everybody needs to know that there's hope to accomplish that dream.
It's a road trip of life, or to life, however you want to put it and say it.
Absolutely.
So, Christine, are some of these real life lessons and everything in your latest book, Royal Crown Betrayal?
Oh yeah, in fact, I have it right here. I'm sure you've had a picture of it as well. It is a real life story of a woman who happens to be my mother, who as a child, was able to survive World War II when the Germans came in, and she was the last boat out of Europe, the Constanita, out of Genoa, to go to New York City. And her life has been always escaping life, or situations where she could die. And so it talks about her being married into royalty. It talks about her life as not knowing who her parents were, keeping her lineage quiet so she didn't know her lineage. And through that, you're talking about espionage, you're talking about gangsters, you're talking about spies. It almost sounds like fiction, but it's real, and we have real names in it. And so this woman, all she kept telling herself is, I need to keep going. And every time she went through something horrific in her life, she just told herself, I need to keep going. And her message is to keep going. And at the end, she just didn't survive. She thrived, she conquered, she's a victor. And that's really important for a lot of people to hear. She's gone through everything from death threats to having to escape from different countries for people looking for her because of who she was married to. Even having somebody in the royal family try to kill her. So it's like, is this real? Yes, it unfortunately, it's real. But the take-home message is parallels mine, hope as an anchor. When you have hope, you can do anything and survive anything. Hope actually gives you the strength and the courage to go through what you're going through. And that's an important word. If everybody can hear that word, we're always going through. We're never staying there. You have to keep marching forward, and you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. And having that hope, you can have that strength to be able to hold on and walk through. So anybody that's listening that the bottom's fallen out and they just don't know what to do, well, this story, this is just her story, but it has a lot of twists and turns. You have a story too. And your story, if you just hold on to where you want to go and you don't give up and you keep hope as an anchor, you will make it. You will make it. There's other people that have made it through horrific circumstances, and you're going to make it too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we've heard it in real life, and we've heard it on the silver screen. Keep hope alive.
Absolutely.
Keep hope alive.
And yeah.
I just want to make sure once again that folks know that they can go to your website, ChristineSchaefer.com, and we'll make sure that we have that in the show notes so they can get some other information and stuff. But yeah, it's my hope is that everybody does keep hope alive.
And your show is very uplifting. And so that's important. You know, we all need uplifting shows because that helps us. We hear of other people's success, no matter what age they are and how old they are, you know. And I love one of your latest clients that had a book on longevity. And he said, I'm 89 planning for my next 10 years. I said, how great is that, right?
Yes. And you know, we can all look for hope in different ways in different areas. It's not just one thing. So,
absolutely.
So find your hope and, like I said, hold on to it and keep going forward, moving forward.
Yep. Don't let people dismantle your chain that holds your anchor, you know, one chain at a time. If you're in an environment that's not conducive for you to succeed and you have naysayers around you, you need to start purging who's ever around you, because one success leads to another success. You do not know that when you obtain one dream, what the next dream is going to be. And I always say it's a stepping stone, and you keep going to greater and better things.
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking of that, I always try to live by that rule of I have my direction, or I think I have my direction. I know my end, and I have my hopes. But just because I formulated in my head, oh, this is the way it's supposed to go, and all of a sudden it doesn't go that way, don't give up. It just means that, you know, rivers can change. With more water or more information for us, we might change, but the end is the same. So just keep moving towards that end goal, happiness and hope.
You know, I always say that you can't direct your life unless you take the first step.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you take that first step, if it's not the right one, then that door will close and another door will open. There's no such thing as when you step out that it's a wrong step.
Yeah. Christine, this has been fantastic. I want to say thank you, and I definitely know that the audience has gotten something out of this, because you also said, in a way, we all need to be motivated and reminded every once in a while of hope. So I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck. It was delightful being on your show.